Hello and welcome to another episode of Joy and Jazz Review,
where we review anything and everything that we deem reviewable, and then we relay the information to you as per our opinion.
First off, we want to say welcome to our new subscribers and welcome back to our returning subscribers.
Yes, you guys keep the lights on, so I really appreciate it. Well,
all the lights that we're using.
You guys will keep the lights on once we get enough, but we're working on it. I don't know if you guys noticed last video, but totally got rid of the background noise. So audio's fixed, lighting is fixed, camera angle is happening. We're getting it. So yeah, now if we could just not have as much editing to do because we messed it up.
Being like pause.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Dogs barking in the background. But yeah, so that's our life right there in a nutshell. So what are we doing today?
Well, today we are reviewing our last book of the month, our last Dean Koontz book. Okay.
I just burned the hell out of my mouth, y'all.
It's hot.
These cups we got from Cobwebs and Lace.
And glitters, something. I wrote it down somewhere.
Yeah. But it's my friend Melanie, and she makes these. So I'm going to try to get a link, and I'll try to link it below where you guys can order these. But when I say that I made this tea and just burned the hell out of all of my taste buds, I mean that. That hurt real bad. But these are some really cool cups. Mine has got a gargoyle on it, and Jasmine's has Plague Doctor, which we love. So thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Keith. You guys rock it. So, all right. So Dean Koontz book. I'm sorry. I got way off topic, but man, that was shocking. Okay.
So yes, this is our last Dean Koontz book of the month. It's By the Light of the Moon. By the Light of the Moon.
What kind of book would you call this?
When I was typing up my stuff, pause for this, pause. So for our reading wrap-up things that I've been doing on my own, I'm going to start doing quarterly reading wrap-ups. So when I was typing up my information for this book, I put it was like a mystery thriller.
I wouldn't say.
That's what the internet told me.
The internet said it was a mystery thriller?
Yeah. Science thriller.
I would put it more of a science fiction paranormal thriller.
Paranormal?
Yeah, because there really wasn't much mystery to it.
Well, I mean, like, them trying to figure out who the doctor was and then finding out.
Oh, yeah, but they Googled him, and there he was.
Well, you know.
But, okay, Google, we'll go with what you say, a mystery thriller. But I'm just saying, I think you're wrong. So I was like, okay, mystery thriller.
So, what is the main conflict of the book?
There's so much conflict in this book. There's a lot of conflicts, and they're interchangeable to be the main conflict. I would guess it's them getting basically accosted by Dr. Frankenstein and being injected with this mystery stuff that he calls it. The stuff. And them having to figure out what the stuff is doing to them. So I guess that's the main conflict. I guess a minor conflict is you've got Shep.
Right.
And he's autistic with Asperger's. So he's overstimulated. I don't know if you guys know what autism and Asperger's to the extreme looks like, but he gets overstimulated and he just kind of shuts down within his own shell. So but seriously, he was like the cutest character in the whole book. He really was. He was very well written. But yeah, so that was another conflict. And then you've got the conflict between Jilly and Dylan. You know, so it's just, there's just a lot going on. And then the conflicts within themselves.
Right.
So there's a lot going on in this book, which accounts for how long it is. It was a very lengthy book.
It was.
It was.
And them also running from the men.
Sorry, guys. That shit is hot. I'm going to take the top off.
We're going to vent.
Before I melt my face off. Look at the steam coming off. I don't think you guys can see it, but man, there was a lot of steam coming off of that. All right. So, now that...
I needed some froth.
So, anyway, so what other conflict?
I was saying the men coming after them.
The mercenaries coming after them, and then them having to figure out not just what this stuff is doing to them, but what this stuff is showing them. Another conflict.
Right.
So, yeah, this book was full of so many conflicts that it was just hard to pick just one. There's not a main conflict. It's just all conflict.
Screams conflict.
Yes, definitely. What would you say the setting of this book is?
Okay, so unlike the other ones,
Yes.
this one is in Arizona.
Arizona
And it also goes back to California.
and New Mexico and Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all over the place. By the way, just FYI, guys, found out Dean Koontz does actually live in Southern California. So
He looks like he would.
so that's why most of his books are set in California. But yes, so he does actually live in Southern California. He's writing what
With
he knows.
his dog.
With his dog and his wife. His wife's name is Greta Koontz. That's cute. He looks like he'd have a wife named Greta.
Cute.
It's cute.
I love that for them.
So yeah, it does jump a lot to a lot of different other places, and as we talk about it, you'll understand why, because, all right.
So, how do you think it affects the plot?
So the fact that they jump around to a lot of places,
Jump.
the fact that they jump around to a lot of places really does affect the plot.
Because you learn more and more.
Yeah, about, see?
I just had to take a little sip. Got my lip a little bit. Tastes like cereal milk.
All right, so we're drinking Earl Grey hot with cream. And so that's usually what we drink when we do these. Just so you know, there's no alcohol in it. Someday maybe, but probably not anytime soon. All right.
Man, I hope so.
Maybe we'll do like a St. Patrick's Day one with green beer.
I don't like beer. If we could do shots, maybe. Ooh, could we do a drunk Q&A? That'd be awesome.
That would be cool. Okay. We'll do a drunk Q&A. All right. So, did I finish the question though?
You were talking about how it does affect the plot.
It does affect the plot because the different places that they go to, they have to go to. Like as the stuff. And that's what they call it. Like there's no name. It's just stuff. It's the stuff. And as the stuff starts affecting them, they are drawn to these different places. So these different places, the plot is affected by the places that they go to.
Right.
So yeah, I think the plots were perfect. I think the setting and the plots, they worked out together very well. Very well. This is not like the other book that we read where the plot could have been placed anywhere.
The good guy.
Right.
The sole survivor.
Right. This had to be set in these different places. So yeah. I think that works. What is the inciting incident?
So we don't find out that until later.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be their dad being murdered
Yes. Yes.
by the doctor.
Right.
Made to look like a suicide.
Right.
And their mom being killed, made to look like a burglary gone wrong.
Right. Right. And it was super, super, like, you think in the beginning that the inciting incident is them being injected with the stuff.
Right.
But it turns out that the inciting incident happened 10 years before. You don't realize it until later in the book. So it was very interesting how he did that.
Right.
You know, and how his dad had been involved in it and didn't know it, didn't realize it. So yeah. So it was very, very, the inciting incident, realizing the inciting incident later in the book is very, very important. But it, unlike most books, it didn't happen right away. So you learn it later.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was good.
It was good. I liked
was just
it.
like, what?
Yeah. It was tragic, right?
I was like, for real? She's like, don't touch my son. And Shep was there to witness.
Shep witnessed the murder of his mother. And remind you, this is a boy with Asperger's and autism. And
He was just like 10.
yeah, he was 10 years old. That's tragic. That's tragic. Shep is my favorite character of the whole thing. Because I'm like, how you getting shot at? Shep's like, cake? Like, where's the cake?
He's like, bathroom then cake?
You said we were getting cake.
Where's the cake? So how would you describe the main characters?
Okay, so in this book, we have 3 main characters. First, you have Dylan O'Connor. Dylan O'Connor is the quintessential older brother. You know, always taking care of his little brother, making sure his little brother is okay, you know, doing for his little brother for what he needs at the expense of his own life. Like he's a painter, but even at the expense of his own life, he still is very positive. He's got a very positive outlook on life.
Right.
The next main character, you've got Jillian Jackson. And as Dylan likes to call her, Negative Jackson. Because her life, she had a really bad dad and she had a really hard life. And so she's a stand-up comedian who makes fun of the hardships in life, and she's just very negative. And then you have Shepherd O'Connor, and he is the boy with all the gifts. Like, I love him. I really do. I think he was just, I want to hug him. Like, you know, Shep is written in a way where you just want to protect him. You're just like, you have to protect him. And I love that. I really do. What do you think about the main characters?
They're all good. I like the banter between Dylan and
Jillian in the beginning.
Yeah, when he's trying to get her in the car and she's just like, he's like, get in the car. She's like, you could be a rapist and a murderer.
He's like, I'm not a rapist and a murderer.
She's like, that's what a rapist and a murderer would say. And then he's like, well, get out of my car. She's like, I'm not in your car. He said, well, get out so I can get in so I can drag you out. I was like, LOL, that's funny.
Mm-hmm. And that's the way that they are throughout the book. And then, you know, you see the softer side of Jillian, but she just really wasn't my favorite character. She just really wasn't. And you remember last book, you asked for like a strong, like, main female character. And you get it in this book, but on a harsh side.
It's like she was on her period the whole time.
Yeah. But it was only 2 days. So it's like 500 pages in 2 days, you guys.
The book was long.
There was a lot going on in 2 days. But yeah, she did. She just seemed like But she made a big come around in 2 days, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
She did a 180.
She did. She did. But she still was not my favorite character.
You were like, nah, there's no coming back from that.
No, because at one point she was like, well, why don't you just put Shep in a home? Like, totally disregarding what this man is doing for his brother. Like, totally disregarding that this man cares for his brother so much that it would break him to put his brother in a home. And she's just like, just put him in a home. You know what I mean? And I was that made me upset.
Right.
You know, because she was like, just get rid of him. Meanwhile, at home, her mother has one leg and one eye. She didn't put her in a home. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. No. Do the characters feel real to you?
Maybe if I knew somebody who was on the spectrum and also had Asperger's, then Shep would probably feel the realest.
Yeah, we do know somebody who is on the spectrum.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have Asperger's, and he's barely on this. He's high functioning.
Right.
But the thing with Shep is, because we have dealt with that, he was just more relatable. Dylan, I don't know. I've never met anybody, well, I don't want to say I've never met anybody who's that selfless, but I've never met anybody who's that selfless and stayed positive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, you meet Jilly's dime a dozen in today's day and age, right? But the Dylans, you don't. And so for me, Shep and Jilly felt real, but Dylan was missing something. So yeah. I mean, do you agree? Yeah. What part?
There are a lot of people who are negative, like Jilly is, and would probably be like, take the easy route.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be like, it'd just be easier to put the problem in a box.
Yeah. And then bury the box.
Right.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree.
So, describe some minor characters.
Minor characters. Okay, so the minor characters, we've got two. Which is Proctor, the Dr. Frankenstein, or the bastard-ass salesman, as Jilly would put it. She was shitty about it, too.
She's trying to get a root beer. I mean, I'd be mad, too.
Shep never got his fries or his chicken sandwich. But yeah, he is the mad scientist. So he has developed the stuff. And, you know, he says to Dylan in the beginning, he's like, you know, hopefully this works for you. He's like, it'll do something wonderful or it'll do something horrible. Who knows? He's like, I'm just too scared to give it to myself. So, and I was like, what a coward. But he is a total coward. And then the other one is Parish Lantern.
Is that the host?
That's the talk show host. And you actually don't meet him. You hear about him throughout the book here and there. But you don't meet him until the last, 3 chapters. And he's another minor character. But he plays a really big part in what happens to them for the rest of their lives. So, yeah. Those are the minor characters. And I don't know what I thought about Parish Lantern.
I thought maybe, because, initially, he is like, come in here, and the doctor's there, and he just has a gun, and I was just like, what the heck?
Double cross.
He's a bad guy.
He's like, my home is your home. Come in.
And then he's just like, at the end, he's just having dinner with them, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I gotta figure out what they were calling themselves again. I forget.
Moonlight Club. Was it the something? But yeah, so they they meet Parrish, and he says, "Come on in," and they walk in, and there's the doctor with a gun, and he's like basically trying to get them to bow down to him for all the great things that he has just imparted on them by injecting them with the stuff. And they're like, "Bitch, no."
He's just like, "Aren't you having a great time?" And they're just like...
And the whole time Shep's like, "Where's all the ice? Where's the ice?"
She's just like, "Ice cream? Ice skate?"
He's like, "Where's the ice?" So yeah, I think those are the minor characters. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you talk to Jilly's mom and the housekeeper, but they really don't like have a part,
Right.
you know. So
And her Harley, the housekeeper who
drove a Harley, and the saddest part, the saddest death in the whole book was the death of the Coupe de Ville. Rip.
What happened to her plant?
They never said. She just left it. She left Fred. Fred was another minor character. He was a jade plant. And she used to talk to him. And she loved him. And she was taking him wherever. And then suddenly they ditched the Ford Explorer or Expedition. And there's no Fred. They don't even talk about Fred again.
It's upsetting.
That is upsetting. See? See? That's some Jilly shit right there. Just right off. Jilly, put it in a box and bury it. See?
Yeah.
Poor Fred.
She was like, "It's just a plant." Whatever.
She grabbed her purse and not Fred.
It was all about her purse, though.
Yeah.
Every time they folded.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was all like, "Where's my purse?"
Folding, you guys. It's a form of teleportation. So the stuff gives them superhuman powers. The power of premonition, the power of telekinesis, and the power to teleport from one place to another. But not really teleport, kind of just fold yourself into the other place, which is kind of weird. I don't know how that works. I could not envision it in my mind.
Yeah, when they said, I don't know, because like when they first talk about it and they're talking about the bathroom and how there's like just a big kind of cave and it's red.
Yeah.
But from far away, even if they're right here at the entrance, it looks far away. But when dude walked through it, he was right there.
Yeah, and she was right there. You know, when they said it was a long, dark cave and it was red, did you get the impression of the movie Poltergeist with the closet thing that was sucking them in with the big throat thing in the end?
Oh. She's just trying to...
That was what I got in my head. I was like, this pulsing throat thing.
He was like, "Where's Shep?"
Shep folded away. He's like, "It's the here there." And I love it when when Dylan's like, "I need you to fold from here to there." And Shep's like, "Just there?" He's like, "That's not far." He's like, "I know, I just need to go over there." And he's like, "I could go further." Like
it's nothing.
Yep. Okay. So, the villain or villains.
The missionaries?
The missionaries were some,
And
but you
the
really
doctor.
just don't see, like, but there were more.
More villains?
Yeah.
Who else?
Kenny with the knives.
In the beginning. See, like I was all like, what? I was confused. I was like, what does this have to do with anything?
It was the development of their powers through the stuff.
I blocked it out because I was like, this doesn't seem like pertinent information.
And then there was Ben Tanner with the
That he beat up.
No, Ben Tanner was the cowboy. The cowboy with the granddaughter.
Who did he beat up?
He beat up the guy with the Corvette.
Outside of the restaurant.
Yes.
See?
Because he tied up his mother and had her in the basement. Was starving her to death.
See, it wasn't important to me, but I just forgot.
So, a lot of this book was the development of their superpowers from the stuff. And so most of this book, like you see the mercenaries, the first time you see the mercenaries is when they first get injected with the stuff. The next time you see the mercenaries is when they're at their hotel. And then you see the mercenaries when they fold back to their house and the mercenaries were waiting for them. So you really don't see the mercenaries very much. Again, with Dr. Proctor. Dr. Proctor, you see in the beginning when he gives them the stuff, and then you see him at the end.
Right.
So you really don't, like, there's not a whole bunch of, like, supervillain type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's mostly a process of them getting used to their new lives as it's become because of the stuff. I know I keep going stuff, but if I tell you what it was, you guys will be like, well, then there's no point in me reading the book. So I'm not going to tell you guys what it was that he was injected with, but yeah, he calls it stuff, and that's what we're going to leave it with. So
who was telling the story?
It switched between Jilly and Dylan. And honestly and truly, I enjoyed Dylan's side a lot more than I enjoyed Jilly's side. Only because you also got to see a glimpse into his life with Shep. So that was important to me.
Right.
You know, and, you know, Jillian was she was a more here and now type of person. She tried not to think about the past. And so, yeah, I just really enjoyed Dylan's side better. What did you think?
I liked when she was talking to the plant. I was like, that's funny. But she gets paid to be funny.
Yes. Yeah, she really does.
So.
Well, not anymore.
No.
Not anymore. She lost that stuff.
She missed her time. Her time slot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sucks.
And that's the other thing. With Jilly, when you first start reading her, she reads like an old lady.
Yeah. I thought she was an old lady.
She's only 23 years old. Or 25 years old. But she reads like she's just this old lady who, you know, is jilted by the world.
I was like, she's got a friend.
Yeah.
Plant.
Yeah. Yeah. Who does that? Old women do that.
Yeah.
You know, cats, plants.
She's talking about how it hasn't worked out with men and maybe someday. And I'm just like, that's old lady stuff.
That is.
I don't know.
Yeah. She just reads like an older, more mature woman than she actually was. So, and then in certain parts, her age shows through because she's just like, no, you know, she's very petulant in some parts. So, how do you think that you should feel about this book?
So, it was kind of all over the place. And there were just some parts where I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. I'm waiting to see what's happening. And then some other parts where I was just like, wait, what? Like, it didn't make sense.
Right. It was just out of left field.
Yeah.
Like the 110 mile an hour car ride back to Marjorie's house.
See?
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably blocked it out. I don't even remember that.
Because he busts you in the middle of the freeway.
Oh, word.
And goes back to Marjorie. Marjorie was the lady from the fast food restaurant, the old lady.
Oh, that gave him the sticker? Or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah. Flies, not fries. Or fries, not flies.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was all over the place only because a good chunk of this book was them developing their superhuman powers from the stuff that was given to them. So there had to be instances where these superhuman powers were used in order to get through it, which I get what you're saying, though. It just really was a lot.
It was a lot of information.
It was a lot of information. So, yeah. Yeah, but like I said, it was almost 500 pages of just, wow. Just, that was a lot.
That's a lot of words.
Yeah. So,
how do the characters struggle as a result of their choices?
oh, hell. You know what? That is a very, so I feel like Dylan didn't struggle very much. He kind of just eased into it. Shep was scared. He even said he was scared. He's
scared.
Yeah, Shep is scared. And it broke my heart every time he said it because I was like, oh, Shep is scared. Somebody hug him. And Jilly, she fought it tooth and nail. Like, she was not having it. Like, almost like she doesn't have an imagination, but she talks to a plant. But yeah, I feel like Dylan was just like, well, this happened.
No.
And she's like, no, it didn't. It didn't happen. And he's like, but you've got a Band-Aid on your arm from it happening. I don't have a Band-Aid. I don't know what you're talking about. It just seemed like she fought it tooth and nail.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. It was just kind of smooth and easy going. And, like, every, like, Jilly, her power led them to
the ending.
Her vision and all that. She was like, we have to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, they saved a bunch of people.
Right. How did you feel about her being able to fold too?
I was like, why does she get 2 powers?
Right? Right?
Let Shep have his moment.
Let him have it. But I feel like Shep also had premonitions too. So the whole ice thing. Because he was, yeah. You know, so, but why didn't Dylan also?
I don't know.
Dylan doesn't get to fold. He's got to rely on his brother.
Maybe Dean was setting it up.
Maybe there's going to be another book. When did the book come out?
Let's see here.
Hold on, guys. We're trying to find out when this book came out so that we can...
2002.
Oh, so there's not going to be another one. Dean, if you're listening, we'd like to have some more stories of, you know, Shep and Dylan and Jilly. The Moonlight.
What?
Jasmine, focus.
I am, but there is a female.
Yes, I saw those, but I did see those.
I've been talking about it.
I know you have. Yes. Okay. So what do you think about the characters' choices?
Didn't we just talk about that?
No, you were talking about their desires as a result to their desires.
Well, it's like the same.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Interchangeable.
Yeah. That's weird because that question, we've been doing those 2 questions and this time they're interchangeable. Before they weren't. I don't know.
So, what is your star rating for this book?
I actually loved this book. I really did like this book. It was long. It was long, and it did take me quite a while because I'm in the process of doing a lot of stuff, so it took me a minute to read it, but I did enjoy this book. So I would give this book a 4. The reason why it doesn't get a 5 is because it's too damn long, Dean.
Sure. Second that.
It's just too damn long. And there was a lot of needless scene time. Like, I feel like the time in the motel where Shep is staring into the corner and they're talking about the scientist and everything that they've just Googled, that they could have wrapped that up so much quicker. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they didn't. And so I feel like it didn't need to be as long as it is.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Same. I mean, like, it was just really long. I didn't like the use of the R word, but you said that it was used in the right context.
Right.
But I just didn't like it being said. It's like in...
So the R slur is it's a hard slur, right? But in Shep's case, he was making a distinction between the R word and Shep's actual diagnosis. Shep's actual diagnosis doesn't have him as having a brain dysfunction. He's way, way smart. People who are the R word are of low IQ and intelligence. So when people see somebody with autism or Asperger's, they automatically assume that they're a low IQ or intelligence. And he was making the delineation between the two. So it was in explanation, not calling somebody that.
Yeah.
So.
Not like in Brother Odd.
Yeah.
He said it a lot.
Yeah.
And I was just like.
Yeah. It's a hard, that the R word is hard because, especially in the books that we read, a lot of the books we read are not recently written.
Right.
So it's like when we were reading Agatha Christie and she used the N word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was the times. And so do we take off for that because of the times? We can. But in this case, it was one time and he was making a comparison. So yeah, I don't think he meant it in a derogatory term like he did in Brother Odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was By the Light of the Moon by Dean Koontz. It's a phenomenal book. If you get a chance and you have time, because when I tell you it's a long read.
You gotta make time for that.
But sit down, read it. You'd really enjoy it. So, what are we doing next week?
All right. Next week, our surprise ending to the month.
Yes.
We are doing a movie review.
Yes, we are going to the movies, y'all. I'm excited. I like movies. I like popcorn.
I like cherry Slurpees.
Yes. All right. But what movie are we going to go see?
We're going to go see Thanksgiving.
The new slasher movie?
Yes.
Haha. You know what? I love themed slasher movies. And, you know, I'm not real big on like Christmas or Thanksgiving or because I'm spooky all year long. So the fact that there's a spooky like slasher movie that it revolves around Thanksgiving, I'm here for that.
There is also a Christmas one.
There's a Christmas one?
It is called It's a Wonderful Knife.
A Wonderful Knife. We might need to do that. But so next week, well, actually Thanksgiving, that video will be up so that you guys can get our review on Thanksgiving. So from us to you, thank you guys for coming, and we will see you on Thanksgiving. Bye.